Good afternoon, everybody. Shaiji, namaskar. Sorry to keep you waiting.
Welcome, my lords. May we commence the proceeding, my lord? I request Honorable Mr. Justice T.S. Sivanyanam, Judge High Court of Madras and Chairman Computer Committee to deliver the welcome address.
Most respected Honorable Dr. Chandrachud, the Supreme Court of India, and Chairman of the Honorable Committee, Honorable Chairman of the Computer Committees of the various High Courts, Honorable Members of the Computer Committee of our High Court, Justice Kusra Satyanarayana, Justice M. Sundar, Justice Jagdish Chandra, Justice Saravana, Honorable brothers and sisters judges of the Madras High Court, Honorable Vice Chairman of the Honorable Committee, Honorable Justice R.C. Chawad, the Director General of NIC and other officers of NIC at New Delhi, Pune and Chennai, Registrar General, Registrar IT and Statistics and other registrars of the Madras High Court, both at the principal seat in Madurai bench, Honorable Judges of the District Judiciary of the State of Tamil Nadu, Union Territory of Pondicherry, members of the E-Committee, officers on special duty and the technical team of the computer wing of the High Court, learned Advocate General, Additional Advocate Generals, Public Prosecutors, Presidents of the various Advocates and Bar Association, Chairman and Vice Chairman of the and members of the Bar Council of Tamil Nadu and Puducherry, Chief Secretary and Home Secretary of State of Tamil Nadu, special invitees, press and media and other guests, those who have joined this virtual inauguration, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my privilege and pleasure to welcome Honorable Justice Dr. Chandrachud, the Chairman of the E-Committee for today's program, where we have lined up 5 projects to be inaugurated by the Honorable Chairman. But for his continued guidance and encouragement and support, this event would not have been possible. I welcome your Lordship. Our Honorable Chief Justice has been a pillar of support to our committee, giving valuable inputs at appropriate time and also accepting to chair several of our meetings. Welcome, my Lord. I extend a warm welcome to all those who have taken time, despite the busy schedule, to participate in this evening. I shall give a glimpse of each of the projects which are to be shortly inaugurated by our Honorable Chairman. The National Service and Tracking of Electronic Process, called the NSTEP, is a very important feature in the service of process and summons, which you will agree with me is an important part in the court proceedings. NSTEP is a collaboration between Case Information System, NSTEP Web Portal and NSTEP mobile application. It is a transparent and secure system for transmission of process from one location to another and shall address delays in process serving, particularly for processes beyond jurisdiction. Madras High Court has procured 2,906 smartphones for a total sum of rupees 3 crores 48 lakhs and 72,000 sanctioned by the Honorable E-Committee in the Phase 2 project, and this procurement was done through the GEM portal. This facility is being extended to all the courts in the district. The centralized biometric attendance system. The High Court of Madras has implemented this system during the year 2015 and it has been successfully been implemented. The Government of Tamil Nadu has sanctioned a sum of rupees 80.35 lakhs for procurement of these biometric machines, and 407 biometric machines have been procured and installed in the court complexes throughout the state. The in-house technical team of the computer wing of the Madras High Court has developed an application software for monitoring the attendance and profile of staff members of the District Judiciary, and the same will be put in use for the real-time monitoring process. E-court services through e-service centers. This has been a star project of our Honorable Chairman, and his emphasis has always been there in all of our meetings. As per the directions of the Honorable E Committee, Supreme Court of India, the Registry has initiated steps to implementation of the e-service centers in all court complexes which fall within the jurisdiction of our High Court. The e-service centers were established in the principal seat and Madurai bench on 15/5/20 and has been successfully functioning since then, though the influx of lawyers and litigants have not been permitted inside the premises except very recently for physical hearing. As a measure of delivering e-court services to every citizen living in remote locations in Tamil Nadu, e-service center has been established in Yercaud, a hill station in Salem district, on a pilot basis. This service center will have the same ICT infrastructure as available in the e-service centers which are in the established court complexes in the state. We chose, thanks to Honorable Justice M. Sundar for suggesting the location at Yercaud, a hill station in Salem district, where we have located this pilot project, and a porta cabin as per the advice of the E-Committee has been procured. In fact, the Assistant Engineer of the Public Works Department of the Madras High Court has facilitated the entire process. The porta cabin was designed in Bangalore and it has been moved and installed in Yercaud shortly to be inaugurated by the Honorable Chairman. And the cost we have incurred is about 2,53,000. The Government of Tamil Nadu has 12,649 e-service centers with 13,088 counters functioning across the state, with the objective of providing unified access to e-services of different government departments on a common platform across the state. The citizens can avail as many as 115 citizen-centric services, which includes 90 essential services of various government departments, by approaching the nearest e-service center, which is called as the E-Seva Mayam in Tamil Nadu. We held discussions with the Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency, who had readily agreed to extend the existing infrastructure facility in the 12,649 e-service centers to facilitate the advocates and the public, to enable us to deliver the citizen-centric services offered in the e-courts web portal, assistance for video conferencing, e-filing, etc. One more project which Honorable Chairman will be inaugurating is the e-Wayfinder, which is a digital wayfinder facility to facilitate the advocates and the litigant public for easy navigation to the court halls, sections, both judicial and administration, information centers, etc. Subject to correction, we would be the first High Court to implement this interactive e-Wayfinder finder. Before I conclude this welcome address, I would wish to place some facts and figures to establish the success of virtual courts project in the District Judiciary since the lockdown. From 26/3/2020 to 15/9/20, the number of cases instituted in the district courts, which include miscellaneous matters and bail applications, is 1,83,224, and the number of cases which have been disposed of are 1,29,068. I congratulate the Registrar IT and Statistics, officers on special duty, officers of the NIC Madras High Court, and the technical team of our computer wing for their untiring efforts, as also the system officers, system assistants, system analysts of the courts and the District Judiciary for their untiring efforts and dedication for the success of the virtual hearing. To facilitate the virtual hearing both at the High Court and the District Court, with the permission of the Honorable E Committee, where reappropriation of funds was permitted, we were able to procure 100 Microsoft Teams licenses for the High Court, 54 to be utilized by the Honorable Judges of the High Court for the conduct of virtual courts, and 46 for the registry. And 1,068 Microsoft Teams software licenses were procured, and they are being utilized by our judicial officers. In fact, up to September, these licenses were free, and their officers have been using it. And now we have addressed the government to sanction a sum of rupees 16.63 lakhs for purchase of license so that they will be seamlessly connected. So before I conclude, I have a great pleasure in introducing our team. Honorable Justice Pushpa Satyanarayana, please get up and get us. Honorable Justice M. Sundar, Honorable Justice Jagdish Chandra, and Honorable Justice C. Saravanan. So thank you, my Lord.
Thank you, my lord. I request the Honorable, the Chief Justice of Madras High Court to deliver the keynote address. Respected Dr. Justice Chandrachud, the most effective team which I can describe throughout India, the Computer Committee of Madras High Court chaired by Justice Seva, members of the registry. My lords, it is always a pleasure to address your lordships. And what this virtual hearing has given us is the benefit of coming in contact with your lordships, at least if not physically, then virtually. I thank you for having accepted our invitation. This march of law and march of e-governance has now become a synonym. And this synonymous situation has been brought about because of your lordship's grand leadership, particularly during this pandemic period, when with your lordship's guidance and with the earnest and sincere efforts of our entire team, that we have been able to achieve, if not the entire goal, some milestones of importance that will go a long way in the history of e-governance in all high courts throughout the country. Virtual hearing in at least the High Court is a grand success. We are not getting responses in physical hearing, but virtual hearing is being welcomed by those generation of lawyers who did not even know anything about computers or smartphones. And they have now been encouraging this system. And as a matter of fact, we are overloaded with cases for virtual hearing. All my judges have been throughout cooperating in this, and I find that some of them with heavy dockets are continuing till 6 o'clock in the evening, dispatching their judicial business with perfect ease and with perfect combination. These few achievements of e-governance may be little lessons, but we find them to be very effective measures, particularly when we think of in terms of providing service to litigants, but in the subordinate judiciary. For example, the service of notices through all electronic communications that are available has now seeped into remote areas, and it is giving a very good response. Similarly, e-Seva Kendras will also now be paying dividends because of two factors. Firstly, people are now not to travel a great distance to have their facility of getting cases conducted in courts. So travel has become shorter. Secondly, for miscellaneous matters, they don't have to rush to court every time. if it is mere taking of an adjournment, it can be very easily negotiated through e-governance. Thirdly, even I find very encouraging results, and a couple of my judges in the High Court, they have undertaken the exercise of getting evidence recorded. Now, this introduction of recording of evidence will go a long way in helping older people, physically handicapped people, or such of those people who are unable to travel to court to get their evidence recorded. These developments, therefore, knowingly or unknowingly, are something like a value added system where people are coming forward to accept it readily. And the percentage of acceptance of e-governance is now galloping fast. It has therefore now come to be a system that is not going to stay because we are imposing it, but because of its acceptability by the public at large. I think all the projects that we are going to unveil today and is going to be inaugurated by your lordships will be of immense help, and I believe that we will be able to fulfill the dreams of the litigant in terms of what Mahatma Gandhi said of wiping off the tears of the man standing last in the line. I thank your lordships and I thank my entire team for having organized this small function to have your lordships' blessings. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my lord. I humbly request Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Judge, Supreme Court of India and Chairman E-Committee to inaugurate the following 5 projects. NSTEP for all courts in the District Judiciary, E-Seva Center at Yercaud, E-Court services through E-Seva Centers of Government of Tamil Nadu across the districts and taluk in state of Tamil Nadu, Biometric Attendance for all courts in the District Judiciary, and finally, the E-Way Finder at the principal seat of Madras High Court. Okay. Thank you, my lord. Now we will have a short video on the inaugural project. A brief note on today's inaugural projects. Under the aegis of Honorable E-Committee, Supreme Court of India, and upon the direction of Honorable Computer Committee, the registry has procured 2,906 smartphones through GEM portal with internet facility for the service of processes by bailiffs in the District Judiciary. Distribution of Android phone has already been effected. Now the bailiffs across the state could avail the bilingual facility of the NSTEP app and could effectively serve the summonses and notices by getting signature and uploading the photos of the parties to the case. Another important project implemented at district and taluk level as per the direction of Honorable E-Committee, Supreme Court of India, is the establishment of E-Seva Kendra at Yercaud taluk in Salem district. The location is chosen by the Honorable Computer Committee based on demographics, population, access to justice, literacy rate and awareness. As a part of citizen-centric service and taking into consideration of the current COVID-19 pandemic, this infrastructure will facilitate advocate, litigant public in e-filing, video conferencing and e-court services. With the vision to effectively disseminate citizen-centric services, Honorable Computer Committee has proposed to avail the infrastructural facility of the E-Seva centers of the state government located in the district and taluk across the state through Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency. In addition to the facility which are being extended to the litigant public advocates and other stakeholders in the court complexes. Having tested the success of installation of biometric attendance system at the principal seat and Madurai bench of Madras High Court, Honorable Computer Committee thought it fit to extend this facility to the District Judiciary to bring transparency, better monitoring, and centralized data collection by procuring 407 biometric machines with RFID enablement. To provide information in an interactive way and to minimize the staff deployment, Honorable Computer Committee has proposed to install e-way finder at the principal seat of Madras High Court to aid advocates, litigants, and other stakeholders of the system in providing information regarding whereabouts of court hall and various facilities in the High Court premises.
Now I humbly request Honorable Dr. Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Judge Supreme Court of India and Chairman E-Committee to deliver the special address.
Thank you. Very good evening to everyone. Honorable Chief Justice, Justice A.P. Shahi, Chairperson of the Computer Committee, Brother Justice Sivagnanam, and all the judges on the Computer Committee, judges of the Madras High Court, Chief Secretary, and all senior officials of the government, members of the District Judiciary, members of the Bar, and all the invitees. This is truly a unique function because five important projects of the E-Committee are being inaugurated and being placed on a sure footing today. If we were in the physical context, probably we would have held the project maybe 1 month after today, because getting dates and times for matching everybody's convenience is very difficult to organize. As you know, public projects like bridges get delayed for inauguration by several months because the right time cannot be found by the right leader. We also have some typical delays. The only thing which I feel I've been deprived of is the opportunity of traveling to Yercaud to inaugurate the project in person. But I'm sure Brother Sivagnanam will give me an opportunity to travel to Yercaud and some other time. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's really a great pleasure. This is the second project of the Madras High Court that I'm having the privilege of inaugurating after the earlier project that we inaugurated just a few months ago. And it shows the rapidity with which changes are taking place towards e-governance in the Madras High Court with the cooperation of all the officials in the registry and the state government as well. Let me begin by saying that the inaugural of the e-services center and the e-court services is a very signal change which is taking place. And I'm glad that Tamil Nadu is leading the way for the rest of the country. Recently, the parliamentary subcommittee, the parliamentary committee, held a very detailed analysis. And we were glad that the parliamentary committee did that because that gave us an opportunity to interact with very eminent parliamentarians, to showcase our own projects within the judiciary. And we deeply appreciate the effort and the commitment in terms of time and their application of mind that the parliamentary committee engaged with our entire team. And the parliamentary committee has prepared a report very recently, an exhaustive report on the e-courts project, which is reflective of this joint effort at different stakeholder levels. And one thing which the parliamentary committee has emphasized is the importance of the Seva Kendras. And not without justification, in fact, for very strong reasons has the parliamentary committee done that. Because there is a big technological divide in India between people who have access to the internet, people who do not have access to the internet, people who have smartphones, people who do not have smartphones. Well, we as members of the judiciary, we cannot tell a litigant or a citizen that you have no access to the internet and therefore we cannot provide services to you. It is our obligation to do so. And therefore the E-Committee of the Supreme Court has taken upon itself the obligation of ensuring that we have e-Seva Kendras in every court complex in India, in the over 3,200 court complexes in India. And I would be really beseeching the Chief Justice of the Madras High Court, who is a very good friend of mine, Justice A.P. SAHI, and all the judges of the computer committee to ensure that this eventually is spread and fanned across the state of Tamil Nadu. Because this is the only way in which we can reach out to common citizens and provide the e-court services which the judicial system today is in a position to provide. In this context, I would like to really also request the committee to explore whether we can use the availability of e-services which all governments across the country are now providing at the level of the Gram Panchayats, at the village level, so that if we can associate the village level services in terms of ICT enabled governance with the services which we provide, then we can now take our services even down to the village level. We will be able to know village-wise what is the pendency of cases, how many cases are pending, for what reason have those cases been delayed. So I think the next step that we will have to now pursue is to integrate the Gram Panchayat level services which are provided by the state governments in terms of the ICT enablement with the e-court services, so that we can then take truly our services from the court complexes to the Gram Panchayat levels. A couple of other things which I thought I must use this opportunity to emphasize is that we have now, as you know, opened up the National Judicial Data Grid to statistics both from the High Court and the District Judiciary. Now, the statistics which are available on the NJDG, I was discussing this with the Vice Chairperson of the E-Committee, Justice R.C. Savan, and we both felt that the statistics which are available on the NJDG can now be utilized to carry out a 360 degrees assessment of our judicial officers. So we do not only assess judicial officers in terms of what orders they write or the number of disposals, but the extent to which the courts which they are managing are able to incorporate ICT governance. And this data on the NJDG can be used for a 360 degree assessment of judicial officers. Another very important area which we need to take steps on is that there has to be a linkage between the land records registry of the states, of the state government, with the courts. As you know, very often lands are offered as security. There are sureties which come in bail matters for offering surety to the courts. Now, we must ensure that the land records linkage is established between the court system and the registries of land records in the state. Because once this is done, our judges, our judicial system will be able to see as to whether what are the nature of the encumbrances on the land, whether that land is truly available for the purpose of furnishing security, so on and so forth in court proceedings. A very important step which we have now taken on the National Judicial Data Grid is to allow for the uploading of the reasons for delay. Why are cases, why are trials delayed? Now, this is the right time during the course of the pandemic when we are not operating to full strength for every case to be uploaded with the reasons for delay. Almost 46% of the criminal trials are delayed because the accused are absconding. It's not possible to find out the accused, particularly once bail is granted. Now, the importance of uploading the reasons for the delay is that once the reasons for delay are uploaded in relation to every case, we can come up with those reasons to state government. And this can be operated at the level of the policing, at the level of the superintendent of police in every district, at the level of the commissioner of police in the commissionerates, at the level of the inspector general of police, and at the level of the director general of police. So across the hierarchy in the state of Tamil Nadu, for instance, everyone will be able to know how many matters, for instance, within the precincts of the police station have been delayed as a result of the fact that the accused is not available to face trial. So the uploading of reasons for delay as part of the portal now on which we have enunciated is of very crucial importance. Very recently, as you know, we inaugurated the e-court website. This is a new website which we have inaugurated using the SUAS platform of the Government of India. Now, the importance of the e-courts website is for us to provide knowledge and information about our services to common citizens. Presently, the website is available in English, but I do believe that that's not enough, and therefore this is going to be a multilingual website. So I would really request the computer committee. I don't have to do it in an open platform. I have to pick up the phone and speak to Brother Sivagnanam, who is always extremely cooperative with all the members of the computer committee. But I'd like to emphasize that one of the segments of the new website which we have opened is to allow the high courts to put on the website the work which they are doing. Because across India, high courts are doing amazing work on information and communications technology, on ICT governance. Now, this work of the high courts has to be offered to the nation to judge, to see, and to appreciate, and to critique. So we have created a section on our e-courts website for the high courts to put out all the good work which they're doing, such as, for instance, today's inaugural of your 5 projects. So I would request the Madras High Court to ensure that from time to time, the wonderful work which you are doing in this area as part of the e-courts project is uploaded on our e-courts website. We are also translating it into 22 Indian languages. So we'll be looking up to the e-committee and to the CPCs in the state of Tamil Nadu to ensure that the entire content is translated into Tamil, so that then truly we can reach out to ordinary citizens who would like to know what is the nature of the work which is being done. One of the very important projects which we have adopted recently is to provide for training for lawyers, because we do believe that the only way we can find acceptability of information and communications technology within the judicial system, if the lawyers are trained. And all lawyers do not have the same access to education, to English language content. And therefore, the e-committee has now prepared tutorials, video tutorials in diverse Indian languages, including Tamil, to train young lawyers. And I dare say we can also train young law students who are going to join the bar. Now, one of my, in fact, the member in charge of this training program, the member Human Resources, Ms. Arumozi, is a senior district judge from the state of Tamil Nadu. She and Ramesh Babu, besides being spouses, are both extraordinarily talented people who are helping in the work of the e-committee in the Supreme Court of India. And I would request you to coordinate with Ms. Arul to ensure that these training programs which we are now devising for the lawyers are fanned across the state of Tamil Nadu. So right from the taluka level, we are able to train lawyers in the use of information and communications technology. Lawyers should not have a feeling that this is something totally new, that they will never be able to understand the system. They must understand how simple it is, how easy it is, so that we must provide this facility for lawyers. Now, talking of virtual courts, these steps, as the learned Chief Justice said, virtual courts have truly taken our court system to the doorsteps of citizens. I'm particularly impressed, I must share with you, the number of juniors who appear before us in the Supreme Court through the virtual courts, because they have a sense of confidence. They are not daunted by a real physical court where you have to argue in the presence of 100 or 200 lawyers. We have a number of young juniors who are doing remarkably well on the virtual courts when they address us every day. Young women lawyers, and I would particularly like to emphasize the role of women lawyers, for the reason that many women, young women particularly, carry the responsibility, they carry multifold responsibilities at home, responsibility in the offices, responsibilities to their clients, and this ensures a very high level of productivity for the young women lawyers, because they know when their matters are going to be called out. They don't have to waste the day waiting for matters to reach in court. And that is a remarkable change of the virtual court system, which we have been able to adopt. Just to give all of you some statistics, between 24th of March to 13th of September in the past 5 months, 34.74 lakh cases were registered in India in the District Judiciary, and 15.32 lakh cases have been disposed of. I requested the Secretary General of the Supreme Court to give me the latest figures of disposal on the Supreme Court, and I must share some of those with you. The total number of matters which have been filed by e-filing and by physical filing during this period are close to 6,957 plus 550. The total number of matters which have been taken on board are 17,373 matters. Insofar as the outflow of matters, that is the disposal of matters, we have disposed of close to 8,429 cases, including cases with judgment in the Supreme Court. As many as 639 benches took up main matters, 468 review matters. The Registrar's Court took up about 48 benches. 275 parties appeared in person. And we had about 95,000 advocates who were hearing the proceedings. And about 55,000 advocates who have actually appeared. So this is really a remarkable development which has taken place not merely in the District Judiciary, but in the High Courts, and of course, in the Supreme Court. Insofar as the disposal by the virtual courts are concerned, namely the courts which we have set up for traffic offences, I must share with you that proceedings have been completed in 94,000 cases involving petty traffic offences. Fine has been paid in 888,000 cases. 108 crores has been collected by way of fine, and about 53,000 violators chose to contest their cases. Now, this has resulted in immense improvement of productivity for the citizen, because citizens do not have to enter the portals of courts to dispose of these petty traffic violations. Judicial officers who would otherwise be required to man the courts are relieved of those duties, and they can actually do cases where lawyers and litigants can appear before them in cases which require their attention. So these are some of our very important initiatives. I believe that the initiatives which have been adopted by the Madras High Court of the NSTEP particularly, NSTEP will curb so much of the corruption, of the delay in the service of summons. The Seva Kendras I've already spoken about. Biometric attendance will make the system more efficient. And last but not the least, the e-way finder. I mean, if one of us had a case somewhere in one of our courts, I'm sure we would struggle to find our ways through the courts, but for the staff which we have. So the e-way finder is a remarkable development which we have put into place. Every time I open my laptop and I require something, I always go to the e-finder, because that's the e-finder which gives me whatever document that I want to locate, whether it be a case file which has been delivered to me last night, or a draft judgment which my secretary has just sent me, or whatever it is, or a meeting which is taking place online. So these are really remarkable initiatives of the Madras High Court. I compliment all the judges led by the dynamic leadership of Chief Justice A.P. Shahi. I want to particularly thank every one of the members of the computer committee of the Madras High Court, your registry which has worked so hard towards the realization of all our objectives. And with my best wishes for many more projects like this, and for placing the existing projects on a very safe and a solid foundation, I would complete my presentation this evening. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be always associated with your initiatives. Thank you.
Thank you, my lord, for your wonderful and thought-provoking special address. We are now towards the end of the function. I request Honorable Mrs. Justice Pushpa Satyanarayana, Judge, High Court of Madras, and Member, Computer Committee, to deliver vote of thanks.
Good evening. It is said, the roots of all goodness lie in this soil of appreciation. My lords, it is our proud and privilege to have Honorable Justice D.Y. Chandrachud, Judge, Supreme Court of India, and the Chairman E-Committee of the Honorable Supreme Court among us for the inauguration of these e-services. On behalf of the E-Committee of Madras High Court and other companion judges, I express our profound thanks to His Lordship for inaugurating the e-services for the benefit of the litigating public in the state, and also for extending His Lordship's righteous support for innovative ideas of the e-services in the majestic higher judiciary and the radiant subordinate judiciary in the country. His Lordship's alacrity, energy, and accomplishment in the entire judicial system, more particularly in the e-services, are known to all. His Lordship is keen to take the e-services to the fingertips of the litigants from their doorsteps at the click of the button. Thank you, Lordship. Your Lordship also mentioned about the e-court services that is being provided including the 360 degrees assessment of the judicial officers, and also the linkage of the land records with the court system, which would enable the courts to get to know the actual details of what has been furnished by the litigants. And the reasons for the delay about the absconding accused, and which is within the precincts of the police, that will also be taken care of, Lordships, by the requesting the police officials, namely the Superintendent of Police of each district, to do their part of the duty. And so far as a website, we would show, my Lord, with the Lordship's guidance, the work done by the High Court will be uploaded on the website for the public to know about it. And also the video tutorials that has been just suggested by your Lordships in the information technology to the young lawyers who will be lacking in the language of English, that will also be taken as part of the e-course project. And now I want to express our heartfelt gratitude to the Honorable Chief Justice for being with us and enlightening us with his insightful ideas. His Lordship's never say die attitude help us to develop enthusiasm and vigor to surge ahead of all. Our heartfelt thanks to go to our Honorable Chief Justice, who always motivates and guides us to adopt new and innovative ideas in this value-added system. It is my duty to thank my chairman of our computer committee of the E-Committee of Justice T.S. Sivanyanam, whose commitment, resolute and prompt action took us to achieve every milestone in these services. Thank you, brother. I thank my brother judges of the E-Committee for their valuable comments after taking meticulous and diligent view of each and every matter that were placed before them in the meetings. The commitment and support of all the other brother and sister judges of this court in accepting and adopting the testing methods, even in these pandemic times, needs a special mention. I thank you all. The unflinching support of the registrars, District Judiciary, and the IT team will encourage us to take bold steps for the betterment of the institution. Success of any launch is not possible without the dedication and the hard work of the IT wing. A big thank you to you all. I would like to thank the NIC, the TNEGA, the Yercaud, and other central and state government agencies for rendering their support in extending the e-services to the common man. Yercaud, it's a hill station in Salem district in the Eastern Ghats in an altitude of 4,970 feet above the sea level. The Seva Kendra is a one-step center for accessing various services in district courts initiated by the E-Committee of the Honorable Supreme Court on pan-India basis. Therefore, the Seva Center at Yercaud is decided with the mountain perspective so that the decisions taken for the rest of the state and the country are easily suited and do not adversely affect the mountain environment. My lords, at this juncture, on behalf of every one of us, I extend my heartfelt invitation to your lordship to visit Yercaud. Thanks to all who have logged in today to attend this virtual inauguration of the National Service and Tracking of Electronic Process NSTEP, E-Seva Center at Yercaud, E-Court Services through E-Seva Center, Government of Tamil Nadu, Biometric Attendance for all courts in the District Judiciary, and the E-Wayfinder. Thank you very much for your valuable time. I once again thank one and all for being with us in this evening. It has been a great pleasure. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, my lord. May I conclude the proceeding, my lord?
Thank you. Okay.
Function concludes now.
My Lord, Chief Justice, Madras High Court, and the judges of Madras High Court, my dear brothers and sisters, and other good evening to all. I would like to give my thoughts about the exploring facilities of the establishment of E-Seva Kendra, which has been organized today by the Honorable Committee and as per the direction of the Honorable High Court of Madras. E-Seva Kendra Yercaud, the project of establishment of E-Seva Kendra at District Court and the High Court was conceived and conceptualized by the Honorable Yercaud, Supreme Court of India, with an object of lowering the abilities of the service provided by the Honorable Committee of Supreme Court under the Yercaud project and is aimed at strengthening access to justice for all. The Seva Kendra of the name suggests are directed to and are supposed to serve the common citizen as one stop center for all court related needs. As per the direction of the Honorable Committee, Supreme Court of India, the Honorable Computer Committee, Madras High Court, has implemented Seva Kendra in Madras High Court and the Madurai bench of Madras High Court on 15/5/2020 through video conferencing. The Tamil Nadu E-Governance Agency has provided a manpower to facilitate the Seva centers for High Court in e-filing, video conferencing and e-court services. With regard to the district courts, the High Court has requested the specialties report for implementation of E-Seva Committee. Now the Yercaud Taluk in Salem district has been selected as a pilot location for implementation of E-Seva Kendra and photo cabin as per the direction of Honorable Committee, Supreme Court of India, by utilizing the funds available in the phase 2 of E-Court project, where HC has purchased the IT preferred from the E-Court phase 2 head of account to the said implementation through Yercaud, Chennai. My lordship, despite benefits services to propose to be provided in E-Seva Kendra, the service is handling inquiries about cases status, next date of hearing and other details, facilities online, application for certificate copies, facilitate e-filing of petitions right from scanning of hard copy petitions, appearing e-signatures, uploading them into CSIS and the generation of filing number. To assist litigants in online purchase of e-stamp papers, facilitate application for other based digital signature, publish and publicize and assist in downloading the mobile application of e-court for Android and iOS, facilitate in booking of e-booklet, e-booklet appointment for meeting relatives locked in jail, handling queries about judges on leave, solving queries about location of the particular court, it is costly, and whether the case is taken up for hearing or not. Guide people on how to avail free legal service from District Legal Service Authority, High Court Legal Service Committee, and the Supreme Court Legal Service Committee. Facilitate disposal of traffic challan in virtual courts as also online, compounding of traffic challans and other petty offences. All other, I would like to complete my thoughts about E-Seva Kendra up to this and thank everyone for giving me this opportunity. I am very sorry to electricity, inconnectivity of the electricity since the midtime last year. Kindly pardon me. That's it.